How many times a week do you find yourself looking for cheap traditional knife patterns on Amazon? Oh, it's just me? Well, anyway, I end up buying quite a few cheap traditional pocket knives, usually adding them onto orders to get free shipping or to use most of a gift card. Of course, Amazon gift cards are the only way I can purchase things off of Amazon because I'm an ancient 24-year-old without a checking account. The government doesn't need to know how much money I spend on knives or uh, anything else for that matter. So this is one of those cheap traditional knives that I found on Amazon recently. The Charade Old Timer Barlow. This isn't the Charade of old. A company called Taylor Brands bought the name and is slapping it on all these Chinese-made knives. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that, it's just not an American-made product anymore. With that being said, I paid $8 and some loose pocket change for this knife with free shipping. So I can't really expect too much for that amount of money. It has two blades, a clip point main blade that looks kind of strange, maybe it's a modified clip point, and a secondary pen blade. The pen blade works well for digging shallow holes for screws, because why would I use the correct tool for the job? Especially when I'm carrying a knife that costs less than most people spend on a six-pack of beer. The blades are made out of 7CR17, which is a cheap Chinese stainless steel. The Charade Old Timer Barlow has saw-cut Delrin covers, or handle scales if you're not a traditional knife enthusiast. They look nice and won't expand or contract like bone or wood. It has a brass shield on one side of the Delrin covers, proudly displaying the words Old Timer. I would have preferred it saying Lies, but I guess that probably wouldn't sell very well. The knife is held together with brass pins and features a bolster coated with something to look like brass, but obviously isn't brass. That bolster will, of course, get scratched up by your car keys and bottle caps that you're now carrying, since that Chuck E. Cheese pizza scandal destroyed the market value of Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Bottle caps are the preferred currency of the post-nuclear wasteland anyway. The fit and finish on this knife is better than I expected it to be. The only real noticeable issue is there's a gap between the one back spring and the liner. And just like most fit and finish issues, it really doesn't affect the use of the knife at all. The back springs aren't super stiff, which with a small knife like this is probably a good thing. I personally believe that this knife is well worth the small amount of money that I spent on it. It's an affordable way to get a Barlow pattern knife that seems to be put together fairly well. The blade steel isn't really great at anything, but it will take an edge and stay sharp long enough for most people's daily tasks. After all, our grandfathers never heard the words super steel, and they got along just fine. So if you're looking for a cheap tool to cut things with, or if you're some kind of hipster trying to feel nostalgic about an era you were never a part of, you can't do much better for around $8.